Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hardware Sense channel. And this one is going to be really intriguing for all of you. I'm sure most of you want to know my opinion on what I think about the newly released OnePlus 5. That is the first device I have from OnePlus. All of you know the brief history of the company that released several different kind of like their slogan flagship killers in the last I don't know 3-4 years, and the first one was the OnePlus One. Obviously great phone. My best friend has it, still has that phone, by the way. Still pretty good, but you know, let's forget about all the other ones. Let's move on to this one, and everything that's surrounding this phone was intriguing, so I wanted to grab it, test it myself. And probably the main reason was the possible compatibility with Verizon support. Up until this point, all the other versions, all the other previous releases for OnePlus were only GSM, which is a little bit of a problem for me, since my primary provider is Verizon. I want to use Verizon on it. So long story short, let's open it, see what it's all about. This is going to be a brief one. I'm going to pop the SIM in and see if it's going to work. I'm going to do some other tests and see how this phone performs, and kind of provide my opinion while I'm doing it. So first thing first, that's the 64 gig version. As you can see, the slate gray. This one is produced in June 8th, so super recently actually. So let me go ahead and cut this plastic off, try to pull the phone out. But yeah, about the controversy surrounding the phone, obviously all of you know the design. They caught a lot of fire about you know, copying certain popular company that is you know, kind of one of those that nobody from the Android community wants to see be copied. Obviously we're talking about the iPhone 7 Plus. It's a bit unfortunate that OnePlus did that. They kind of lost their identity a little bit. All of their previous devices were more or less original. I know that's not completely true, but they were less obvious. This one is completely obvious. So let me pop that top off, take the phone out, put it to the side actually, and quickly breeze through the contents. So in this little pouch, you've probably already seen those videos from tons of other popular YouTubers. Obviously OnePlus supplying those review units for them, you know, weeks in advance, and then after they released it or announced it, they were allowed to post their videos. People are asking, oh, how come they had it so fast? Well, it's called media press units. They sent to the media, popular YouTubers, you know, weeks in advance, so they can record their videos and test. SIM ejector 2, quick start guides, nobody's going to care about that. So let me put that to the side, especially for the people that are buying this phone. You guys already know what it's all about, and actually is, you know, kind of a tailor towards bigger geeks, people like me that like technology. You know, they say this postcard is actually, you know, pictured with OnePlus. I don't know if that's true necessarily, but who knows. And kind of a short message from the CEO of OnePlus, or co-founder. I'm not gonna go through it. If you wanna read it, pause it and go through it. Yeah, marketing. Inside, nicely bundled, and this is a great presentation, and I've seen it many times before, and I really like that. You know, nobody goes to the extent these days to bundle cables like that. High quality bundled cables with even protective caps, which are rubber, on the, you know, the Type C, rounded, red, different. You know, I like that. I like difference. So that's great. They're, you know, so-called super fast charger dash, the technology they're using, quite of a hefty brick. For me, really doesn't matter. I'm not gonna use that. I mentioned it before. So whatever, if they deliver 4 amps out of this, yeah, and they claim it's faster than quick charge 4.0, fine. But at the same time, I think they should have stuck with Qualcomm's technology like everybody else, so people can actually use other chargers. They're quick charge 4.0 or 4.0 plus or whatever. Now if you want to kind of receive that fast charge they're claiming, you got to use that one. So for me, that's a negative. Minor, but you know, still worth mentioning. I think companies should stick to what Snapdragon is offering, instead of trying to be different on that way. You know, find other differences. You know, make a better design. You know, that's my message. Obviously, I had to buy this one on my own. It's not media press supplied, so I really don't care. My opinion is going to be mine. It's going to be completely biased towards what I think, not what companies want me to think. Okay, go to the side. So here it is. You know, front, fine, looks pretty much like the last two generations, the 3 and the 3T. Front-facing camera, the super fast fingerprint reader, which is great. But at the same time, you know, when you look at it, doesn't look futuristic. Doesn't look like 2017 phone. Giant chin, giant forehead. Yeah, granted the side bezels are not that big, but at the same time, why? You know, just do the modern thing. Do the G6, do the Samsung S8. You know, people want that. I want that. Slider, button to the side. One of the best things about this phone and OnePlus is having these slider ones. Come on, focus already. Jeez. Maybe not. Okay. Okay, so the slider one, you know, quick mute, other functions can be assigned. Volume rocker on this side, I, to be honest, prefer it to be here, but again, it is what it is. On this side, we have the power and the dual SIM tray, and from the bottom, obviously, kudos to OnePlus sticking out and keeping the 3.5mm headphone jack. That's a big thumbs up for me. And then now for the moment of truth and the biggest controversy, the dual camera with exact same placement of the microphone and the flash, which, you know, yeah, antenna lines. Obviously, if you put this one next to the Apple iPhone 7 Plus, and you kind of hide the logos and show it to some, you know, regular guy that uses iPhones, be like, yeah, that's the same phone. You know, that's why if you have this phone, you better put a case on it, because I'm telling you, a lot of people will be pointing it out and I'm probably laughing at you, especially all the iPhone fanboys. They'll be like, hey, I thought you guys are, you know, I thought you were an Android phone lover. Why are you going with iPhone? So they will not make a difference, trust me. But yeah, so let's power it on real quick. I'm gonna put the SIM card. That's going to be my first video, and I'm really interested to see what the situation is going to be with Verizon. Beyond that is really going to define if I'm going to keep that phone or not. If it's working with Verizon perfectly well, most likely I'm going to keep it and continue testing it. If not, I'm going to do some more testing, few other videos, and I'm going to ship it straight to OnePlus. You know, luckily for me and all of you out there, there's a 15-day hassle-free return, so they claim. I'm gonna see how that's gonna be. So let me pop the SIM card in, do some information here, and I'll be right back. Alright, so the setup was extremely fast. I think I spent no more than 5 minutes setting it up. Fingerprint sensor, you know, was extremely fast. Accepted my fingerprint right away. I mean, it's really super fast. Well, this is the first time, so we'll be good next time. There you go. Yeah, another thing to mention, comes with a pre-applied screen protector. Thumbs up for that again. Love when companies do that. I always go to the extent of applying my own, so I'm really glad that they're doing this before I actually have to bother about that. So first thing first, let's see what says up here. As you can see, it says LTE and 1X. Let me test if I will be able to make a phone call or not. Obviously, that's one of the problems of, you know, sort of unauthorized devices for Verizon is text and calls, and see how the data is going to be before I can confirm. All right, up on the first try, calls and texts are not working. Also, data is not working. APNs are showing Verizon 800. I don't think this is the normal, the correct one. I'm gonna enter manually the correct one from one of my other phones and check it back in with you guys, see what the status is. Alright, so for the moment of truth, as you can see right here, it says LTE and 1X for the CDMA. So let's run a few tests. Let me dial a phone number quickly here. Let's see, I'm gonna dial the Verizon number. See what's gonna happen. So that rings, but as you can see right away, the 4G LTE disappears. So in other words, you cannot have the phone and at the same time you do data. So either or. So if I go back and I'll go to these, you see no data. So it's just gonna spin, and nothing's gonna happen. So if I go back again to my phone conversation and hang up, and then I do retry, see how the data changes back to 4G, and now I'm back with data. So that's a problem that you know, it's definitely concerning. Is it doable? Yeah, maybe it's doable if you don't want to have data and calls at the same time. But I believe that's a problem. You know, all my other phones that I use in Verizon don't have that issue. Other thing to mention, you know, the lack of band 13. You know, OnePlus did went to the extent of announcing how many international bands they included, and it's only one version sold all over the world with you know, all these bands included. But at the same time, why no band 13 here in the US? You know, for Verizon. And then the CDMA, I think it's only 1 out of 2, so maybe that's kind of connected to the problem here. For me, it's definitely not Verizon approved, so most likely this phone is going to go back in the box and back to OnePlus. But let me run some more tests. I'll do a couple more videos for you guys. Ask me any questions you want about this phone. You know, for the moment, it's a pass, especially for the price. I mean, $480, come on. 525 or 500, I forgot, 35 or 45 for the 8 gig and 128 gig internal storage. That's, you know, that's pushing it a lot. You can get an unlocked Samsung straight from Samsung.com right now. The S8 will cost you $425, and the S8 Plus will cost you $525, which is less than this phone, with top-notch specs, with huge modern-day screen, unlocked for all carriers in the US, including Verizon. I mean, what can I say? All you need to do is just return any Android phone. You can have like 5-year-old, you know, super old Android phone laying around. Just return it to Samsung. You get all those discounts off, and then off you go. I mean, why would you buy this phone? You know, there's really no big incentive at this point. Anyway, further conversation to another videos. This is getting lengthy again. That's pretty much it, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you like it. Ask me questions down below in this video while I do some more tests in this phone, and I'm gonna post them again for you guys, so you can make your own decision without, you know, any hype or anything crazy like that. That's pretty much it. Have a wonderful day. Bye.